Howdy, folks. I'm Mary Mangoes, messily managing to manhandle mannerly mannequins.
I'm Amber.
And here are more mannerly mannequins for us to manhandle. You know why? Because mangoes are like that. We are like the bouncers of the fruit world. Let's get started. You might think that was the coconuts, but it's not. It's the mangoes. I put the word man in mangoes for a reason. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making My Girlfriend Dig a Knitted Blanket Out of a Dumpster? I moved in with my girlfriend about 9 months ago, and most of the items in the home belong to her and were chosen by her. I didn't move in with very much except for my clothing, a TV, an Xbox, and 4 blankets that were knitted and sewn by my late grandmother. Then there was some stuff that we bought together. My girlfriend genuinely has a beige aesthetic and thought that my colorful patterned patchwork blankets were ugly. She refused to let me use them on the beds, so I just kept them in a trash bag in our linen closet. On Monday, I went to grab a roll of toilet paper from that closet and I noticed the incredibly sentimental blankets were gone. I asked my girlfriend if she had moved them, and she joked about having moved them to the dumpster outside of our apartment a couple days before. I told her that if they weren't back in pristine condition by the end of the night, that I was leaving, as she had crossed a serious boundary. If she really hated them that badly, she could have at least warned me, and I would have taken them to my parents' house. She didn't think that I was being serious, but I didn't talk to her for over 6 hours before she broke down, saying that she's not going to go dumpster diving to save some old ugly blankets. I told her that that was her choice to make, and within the hour, she was climbing into the complex dumpster to see if they were still there. She walked back in, trash bag in hand, and dumped it on the ground while cursing under her breath, rolled her eyes, and rushed to shower. After everything, I was the one who had to dispose of the smelly trash bag and take my blankets to be professionally cleaned. Things around the house have been extremely tense in the last few days. I confided in my sister, who said that what she did was messed up, but I had taken it way too far by threatening to leave if she didn't climb into a dumpster. I really just want to move past this, but deep down, I want to know if I'm truly in the wrong. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. She threw away something very important and sentimental to OP. Like, that seems perfectly fair to be like, hey, you need to get this back for me.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that OP did anything here that I would consider, out of, like, he only asked her to get the stuff that she threw out, right? Mm-hmm. And said that if they aren't back, that he would dump her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who made the decision to throw it in the dumpster. She should be the one who retrieves it from the dumpster, right? So I really have a hard time sympathizing with her because this is just the consequences of her own actions.
Right. You know, if she hadn't thrown out something important to her partner, she would never have been in the situation in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, what do you feel about the future implications on the relationship that this has?
I mean, honestly, if I were OP, I would dump her. It doesn't seem like she cares about him personally, because if it doesn't match her aesthetic, then he can't have it. Like, I would hate to live in a house where I couldn't have any say over the decor. Everything was picked by my partner, and my feelings didn't matter. Even sentimental things, like... Mm-hmm. would not be allowed because they didn't fit the aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my feeling as well. I really feel that she is being a little too controlling here, and that she really needs to give him his own place to decorate. Like in the bedroom, I can understand maybe if she has like the living room set up in a particular way where she's going to be hosting guests and stuff like that. But the bedroom, surely there's room for a sentimental blanket there, right?
Right.
So I think that she is in the wrong. I really do. I would have a hard time, and I think that OP might be best to break up with her, and this might be the first fracture towards that, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And cultural section 862 says, info, did she know that they were sentimental? She's for sure the jerk here. I'm just trying to decide between a regular jerk or incredibly insensitive. She should have just kept herself in the dumpster. And OP replies, I guess I've never directly stated how much they mean to me, but she did know that my grandmother spent months making each one, and she herself witnessed how hard losing my grandmother was on me. What do you feel about that comment?
I mean, I feel like it goes without saying. And, like, even if they were just Walmart blankets that had no sentimental attachment, they're still OP's property.
Yeah.
Like, the sentimental attachment bit makes it worse, for sure. But she still got rid of his property, and she shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Knowing this right here, where she actually knew the grandmother and knew that she had spent so much time on it, just kind of adds a level of, like, ick to this, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it just goes to show how little respect she has for OP. She was willing to throw away things that are important to him because they don't match her aesthetic. And if your aesthetic matters more than your partner's, like, feelings and, like, sentimental connections to people, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone you're not ready to date.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Stitching Up My Boyfriend's Toy with a Wrong Thread? The title sounds a little stupid because it is. Yes, my boyfriend, James, 24-year-old male, are both grown adults, and he has a stuffed toy turtle. He's weirdly attached to the stupid thing. He keeps it in his closet and occasionally takes it out to look at it a bit before putting it back. It's slightly larger than the size of my hand, gray, and pretty unremarkable. Recently, I've gotten a bit suspicious of one thing, which sounds stupid, but it doesn't look like it's meant to hide something, and whenever he picks it up, he squeezes it a little bit as if to check it was inside. About a week ago, I couldn't take the curiosity anymore, and I took the thing out myself. There were stitches on the underside, and I took a little nail clipper and I opened it up. I just wanted to see what was inside. It ended up just being a pen. I stitched it back closed, of course, and he didn't notice. This morning, he took it out again, and this time he noticed. Apparently, I used the wrong shade of gray. James was furious and called me quite a few names, including that I was the worst person to have ever existed, ever, and that he despised me. I reminded him that when I asked if I could touch it, he said that I could do whatever I wanted as long as I put it back right. He said that obviously that didn't extend to cutting it open and that I was being rude. He hasn't spoken to me since and is keeping the turtle with him, even though he's pretty embarrassed about it. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, you do not get to break open your partner's sentimental items or any of their items. Like, again, this is his property. And if you wanted to know what was in the turtle, you could have asked him. But to tear it open and then stitch it back, like, that's not a cool move.
Yeah, I think I'm going to read a couple of comments here before we go too much further, because there's some more information here that I think is pertinent and relevant. And Alarm Juggernaut says, why is he hiding a pen inside of the turtle? And OP replies, I don't know, but he sometimes hides some of his stuff automatically. He says it's because he grew up in foster care. And the final filter says, you do know that you're not making yourself look any better, right? And OP replies, I'm just trying to be judged for what actually happened, not a series of disjoint events. And a comment that was deleted is followed up with a reply from OP. It's a small pen that his mother gave him. I'm not sure why he put it inside the turtle or the significance of it, though. And Rude Organization 550 says, tip from an old person. That's called getting to know your partner in communication. Talk to the man. If you want to know something, don't dissect his turtle. Don't chalk it up to being or not being a jerk. Chalk it up to being a life learning experience. It could be a fascinatingly interesting story. And OP replies, he doesn't talk about his mom. She's dead. And in his own words, was a sorry excuse for her mother. He doesn't want to talk about her positively, but because she's dead, he doesn't want to talk about her negatively either. So now that we have more information about what this pen is, where it came from, and how the boyfriend grew up, how does that change your views on this?
I mean, that only makes OP look worse. Like, she knows he grew up in foster care, and that, you know, I mean, a lot of times that can be a very traumatic experience. It seems like he probably didn't always get to have control over his own things, and that's part of why he's so secretive about them, is to make sure things are still there. He doesn't want to lose this pen, which is like one of the last reminders of his mom.
Yeah.
Like, even if he had a complicated relationship with her, he still may not want to lose that last tie.
Yeah, well, I kind of view the pen, and maybe this is just me reading too much into it, as almost like the one last possession that he has of his mother that he kind of has put inside of this turtle to almost give it like a soul type of thing, right? To kind of see his mother there, right? To be able to have some reminder of his mother and her being around without being the pen itself, right? And I think that she's also fed into some of his worst fears here, where if he lived in foster care and had his stuff taken away, he probably has a lot of trauma with having stuff taken or inspected or searched without his permission. And those feelings probably all came back when she came in and searched his stuff without permission. So I think that she is very much in the wrong here. She knows all of this stuff about him, and yet instead of being a responsible adult, she, like this person said, dissected his turtle without just being like, hey, I noticed there's something inside of your turtle here. What is it?
Yeah, well, exactly. She needed to have a conversation with him. And I don't know this is a good relationship if OP is this, like, suspicious and jealous over a stuffed turtle. Well, and she's so insulting too. Like, we're grown adults. I can't believe he has a stuffed animal. I mean, lots of adults who have had less traumatic pasts still have stuffed animals, but like, add on the traumatic past too. Like, you're gonna be upset because he has a stuffed animal.
Yeah. And one last kind of thing to get into the just to make things fair and balanced here. The boyfriend, where he was insulting OP and calling her names and stuff like that. What do you think about all that? Justified? Not justified?
Yeah, I mean, I generally don't recommend name calling, but like, I can understand his being really upset that, I mean, if you cut apart one of my stuffed animals and then sewed it back together really sloppily, I would know, like, using it enough, sloppily enough that I can see that you used the wrong color thread. Yeah, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to be happy with you.
Yeah. But folks, let's find out what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn. Tell us the judgment OP's earned. You're the jerk, and somehow you doubled down.
I mean, it works.
The wheel has it. The wheel has it. Good job, wheel. This is why we feed you extra treats. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My Girlfriend to Sacrifice Her Car? My girlfriend is a 28-year-old female and has a 2016 Honda HR-V, which she babies worse than her dog. She got mad at me when I put a scratch on the car's ignition when I was inserting the key. She's always checking it for scratches, like rock dents, even though it's old. I don't really get it. It's not an exciting car, and I don't know why she's so precious about it. The only explanation I can have is that she bought it new, in cash, and it was the only nice thing that she owns. She makes a good living, she's just very frugal. I'm a 27-year-old male, and I own a 2020 Dodge Challenger GT. That costs several times more than her vehicle. Two mutual friends are coming by plane, and originally we were going to go in my nicer car to go on a hike, but then they told me about their dog and that they were getting older, and in the last month had 2 accidents. They assumed that it's just due to age and told me that they would put down a puppy pad in my car. I agreed, but then I thought about it, and I don't want to take it back because they're flying all the way back here to see us. I told my girlfriend about the potential pee issue and asked her to drive us instead because I don't want any gross liquids in my car. She got mad at me and yelled at me for being willing to sacrifice her car but not mine. I told her that it's just common sense and that her car is not as nice and it's used in these situations. My dad had a way nicer car, and those were used for visitors, and my mom had people movers that had stain for the kids. Her back trunk is already lined with waterproof cover for the dog, so it's just less likely to get defaced than mine. And if she had a nicer car, then I wouldn't ask her because I would want to preserve the value of it. She called me a jerk and refused to talk to me ever since Saturday, even though I've tried to apologize. I don't know if my logic is that bad or she's being irrational. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, you're the jerk. I mean, this car means a lot to her. Clearly, OP has like a bad attitude about the car in general. I can't understand why she wants to take care of her car. Heaven forbid she not want it to get scratched all the heck.
Yeah.
So that's a problem to begin with. But then, like, oh, but my car is important and matters, so I'm going to agree to something and then change my mind, but I don't want to actually take culpability for that, so I'm gonna, throw my girlfriend in the line of, throw my girlfriend's car into the mix.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good solution here for OP is to get doggy diapers, right? I think they probably make those. I don't know for sure, but I imagine they do.
I mean, I've known people who've had doggy diapers for their dogs.
Yeah, so I think that if OP's really this worried about it, he can say, "Hey, can we just have your dog, wear the diapers while they're inside the car, and then that way, if anything happens, we don't have to worry about having my car get a mess on it, right?" And I think that that would be a reasonable compromise and probably something that the friends would agree to if you called them back and made sure that it would be all right. Don't just assume that they're going to be fine with it, right? So I think that OP is being rude by being more willing to sacrifice his girlfriend's car and being like, well, your car is just worse, so I think that it's more right for us to abuse it, especially since she takes such good care of it too, right? So I think that OP is in the wrong here.
Right. Well, and how much someone matters to someone is not like dependent on how much it costs. Like he has this very monetary valuation of things. It seems like, oh well, her car is worth less value wise, so we should ruin it. She shouldn't have a problem with ruining it. Whereas something can mean a lot to someone and not cost a lot of money, like the quilts in that first story.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And No Horse, No Mustache says, you're the jerk. Just because you have a Challenger that's a bit newer than her car doesn't make her car mean anything less to her than yours does to you. Her car isn't even 10 years old yet. It's not old any more than yours is. If you want to take your friends hiking, you can put down a puppy pad in your car. I don't know if my logic is that bad or she's being irrational. This isn't logic situation, man. This is being considerate of other people's feelings and situations.
Well, and the way he's like dismissing her too as being irrational is so gross.
And OP replies, our friends. It makes all the difference in the world. So much more illuminated now.
Well, and like he's the one who agreed to this plan. He didn't. It sounds like he didn't consult the girlfriend and just decided to change things up on her. He can call the friends back and tell them, "Hey, I'm not cool with your dog riding in my car. Can we do something else?" But he doesn't want to, admit to them this, and so he just wants that there was girlfriend's car. And
OK Copy 8869 says, you're being a jerk. It might be a different thing if she was the one who made all these promises and initiated the plans with these friends, but you're just disrespecting something that she cares about. Get a rental, honey. And OP replies, if we get a rental and the dog pees in it, are we not responsible for replacing the interior or cleaning it? Well, I imagine that they would be responsible for cleaning it or paying money to get it cleaned. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber has a for realsy real joke.
Why did the rubber chicken cross the road?
The rubber chicken? Because it thought that it was a real chicken, and it was squeaking its way across the road, squeak, 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 and it just barely missed the car that was coming for it, but it crossed the road anyways, and it got to the other side, and it stood victorious over all the other chickens because it was the chosen one, the squeaky chicken.
To stretch its legs.
That too. And I have the special guest tea today. Matcha tea, actually. Again! Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Spectacular Saturday, folks. I hope your Saturday is off to a spectacular start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on respecting other people's property.
Don't throw away or volunteer people's property without talking to them first.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Move some of these pens. I have a little more room. Because Amber insists upon stealing my desk space for her water. Amber, I just watched a story the other day about this guy who survived 400 days on the ocean without any fresh food or water, just by living off of the ocean. You can live for an episode without your water. I'm
gonna keep my water.
Brian says as he takes a big sip of his tea.